And we have Phoenix Sander asking, is it possible to make special assignment missions available to create contracts? I'm not 100% sure on what you mean, but we are doing something we call featured contracts, which is basically contracts that people have made, and then we find one person or several persons that go into a group and make a batch, and then we feature them and pushing them up. So it might be that.
I'm tired of Hitman right now. Saddle up. This is going to be a rambly video. I want to take a bit of a break from Hitman right now, primarily because of the recent actions by IO Interactive. The release of the Sapienza edition that exists to basically scam new players into buying the game twice. It's not adding a new entry point for new players. Jesus Christ.
A more accessible approach on it also.
It's an addition that will help us reach some of the players that might not want or be able to commit to a big pack at once, but want to dip their toes a little bit. It's kind of giving the player the freedom to make their own way in Hitman and choose the content that they want, essentially.
Can't believe they said that. Not to mention how stubborn everyone is at wanting change to happen on any front. Nothing has happened to the game in terms of quality of life changes, game balance, or really anything to do with Freelancer for well over 2 years. And the community, while obviously unhappy about the company's current behaviour for longer than that, are just now apathetic to the situation, conditioned to treat the next bad thing as the new normal, when it really shouldn't be. The general impression I get from the community right now is that I should just not talk about the game's flaws. Anytime anyone tries, myself included, it gets some mild attention, but nothing large-scale happens to pressure IOI into doing anything to fix those flaws. It's the apathetic stance of do nothing, be complacent, and don't rock the boat. I'm just sick of now. Come, join the party on the yacht while it lasts, instead of ruining everyone's fun by making waves towards Io, good or bad, even if it's for our shared benefit. It might capsize the yacht. It won't, but we're scared you might ruin the party. As you can imagine, I can't really talk about the company under those restrictions. For the record, I'm not saying harass people, don't do that. Don't harass people. Can we have a line there? Anyway, what the company is doing is bad for both their image and for the community, and needs constant pressure from us to remind them that their actions are hurting everyone involved, both potential new players who don't know any better and veteran players who do know better. But because fans are disincentivized from rocking the boat, the community is doing bugger all to change the company's behaviour. Instead, we're ignoring it with memes and hope that IO will learn in the end that what they did was wrong 4 months later. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. And I think people need to have higher standards when it comes to corporate behaviour like this. I initially tried to put on pressure toward the company when I attempted to get news outlets involved to talk about the Sapienza Pack situation. And by the sounds of things, I was the only person trying to get their attention. For the record, no news outlet responded to me. Maybe I came off as a ranting lunatic. Actually, that's probably quite likely. But I at least tried to raise awareness instead of just forgetting after a while. As I said earlier, this is not a call to harass the developers, despite what this may all sound like. I want to make that crystal clear. Peaceful protests and discussion are absolutely possible. No harassment required, on any side. I hope we can have some basic human decency, please. Please. And that leads me to the present day. I barely have motivation to play their games, let alone cover them in the hopes of improving what we have. In general, I'm reading less of the Reddits and forum and playing more of Yakuza 7 and Fall Guys, at least for the time being. This is me not giving up. I'm too much of a persistent bastard for that, but taking leave to clear my own headspace. I don't want to end up hating a series I deeply love because of the actions of others make it impossible to do so. If nobody wants to change the status quo to make the life of everyone better, then why should I bother advocating for it? Why should I try and make videos worth talking about? That's the situation, and I hope IO and the community recognises that something has to be done about the current state of affairs. Told you this was rambly. Because the company leaving the community, hoping they'd forget about your faux pas for 5 weeks and 3 days, is not acceptable behaviour, in my opinion. Because that's what's happening. Similarly, focusing on TikTok exclusively for the sakes of chasing viral status just leaves the rest of the platforms out in the cold. Nobody knew about live streams unless they were on TikTok. It is madness that for a company that has 2, actually 3, PR people, they refuse to communicate properly. And to be honest, they're not very good at it when they do. What makes this more frustrating is that when I'm actually made privy to some of the DMs that the PR people would respond to, they give decent, if still boilerplate, answers that aren't too bad. In fact, it comes off as the complete opposite of what I've described half the time. But those are not public messages, and so people don't see them, and fans assume they're not listening or taking notes. They are handling this awkwardly. Does that make sense? I mean, just in the past week, they did not mention that the Drop Elusive target was rerunning. No forum posts, no Blue Sky posts, no Discord post. So when there is information that players might want to know about, they don't tell us, and their PR comes off as a mishandled mess because of it. Let me be clear about something. Fans are not obligated to get answers for anything. IO Interactive could be as quiet as a mouse if they wanted to. But by that same token, fans are also not obligated to stick around or continue to pay attention to your product if you do not talk to us more publicly. If you say nothing, then fans will assume nothing is happening. Communication is a two-way street. If you just ignore us or just give off the impression that you are, then we'll drive ourselves crazy, and some of us will just pretend everything is fine when we know it isn't. It is within your interests, IO Interactive, to engage with the community. Even if it's just repeating boilerplate answers or PR speak that says nothing, it's still something. This is the cost of a live service game, and it feels like you're trying to avoid that responsibility. To everyone watching, be more talkative. Break this stupid cycle of apathy, because goddamn I'm tired of it. And make it known that this isn't right. This is not normal behaviour for a company, let alone a PR team to have. A company getting away with murder on a regular basis in its user base, and then said fans using memes to make the better pills go down better, is not a healthy mindset for a community to have. I like memes, they satirise what's going on, but I also like facts, and people doing stuff to help make the game better. Right now, I'm tired of the lack of progress to solutions the game should have had months, if not years ago, which only a small minority of players will actually call them out on for not doing. I'm just tired. There's no other word for it. I'm also not happy, IO Interactive, as my previous videos, and this one, I hope, would have made clear by now. I'm not happy with how you do business, how opportunistic you are, and how much your user base enables your silence. Take a long, hard look at your reputation and what it is right now, and what it's becoming, and try and change course, because your company, or rather the way you present yourself, is going the way of Ubisoft and Starbreeze, not Clay Entertainment and Fun Selector Labs. Do better, IO Interactive. There's still time to change. Goodbye for now. I'll talk to you when I can.